We open on an average business executive type, staying late to finish up some paperwork that nobody will care about 2 days from now. Time to go home once the elevator stops talking and does its thing.
Good evening, Mr. Bartell. 11:35 p.m. The outside temperature is 64 degrees. The expected low tonight will be 56 degrees. Tomorrow should be clear and a high of 78. All freeways are reported clear at this time. Drive safely, Mr. Bartell.
That's not what it's supposed to do. Austin James designed that elevator, so we're off to the warehouse. Mickey is trying to assemble Austin's receipts for an IRS audit. I think she's starting to suspect a mouse arranged his papers to make a nest.
I've got a perfect record of everything. Dates, figures, mileage, everything to March 6, 1959.
Yeah? Where?
He's Austin James. Where do you think it is?
You remember every financial transaction in your life since you were 3 years old?
Yeah.
She tests him on it, something she should know by now is unnecessary. He says, all the IRS has to do is call me and I can tell them anything they want to know.
I'm certified.
Certifiable.
I mean, I'm certified by the federal government. They had some people testing and found my memory system to be 5 times better than the best computerized data directory and retrieval system, so they'll have to listen to me. I'm certified.
You know something? Where he's concerned, nothing would surprise me. I wouldn't be shocked if the SETI project calls in to translate alien radio signals. And he knows every transaction down to the penny. He also knows his bank balance with today's interest. Of course, when the account is empty and the answer is always 0, that's an easy one to do.
How can you be broke? The most sought-after technical consultant in world history?
Well, it's like you said. Money goes in, money goes out. Money's irrelevant.
In that case, I would like an increase in my basic irrelevance.
Everybody who works for wages needs to remember that one. Money is irrelevant. I need an increase in my basic irrelevance. And he's not in charge of that. Serendip is. Speaking of which, an executive from there calls and tells Austin about the elevator malfunction that killed a man. Guess who's going to get the blame and be in big trouble?
The elevator doors have been opened manually somehow?
No, they can only open as I program them to open through this master control module. Completely automatic.
Then I guess it must have been Theta. It must have given the wrong command.
If you had any idea of the sophistication of this system, you wouldn't make such a naive statement.
Well, something sure went wrong.
Sorry. You're right. Something sure went wrong.
Sometimes the naive observation is the one that's right on the money. They check the elevator shaft and everything else they can think of, and nothing is wrong. Back at the warehouse, Austin is studying a printout of the elevator's activity for the day.
Scattered one. I gasped till 11:35. Here. Here's where Bartell called the elevator to pick him up on the 12th floor.
No, that's incorrect. It has to be. Bartell's office is on 11. Recreate the sequence at 2335. Passenger Andrew Bartell.
He has a working scale model of the elevator in his warehouse. Then again, who doesn't? It faithfully recreates what the computer recorded.
They went to the wrong floor.
But the door's open for Bartell on 11.
Maybe he was reading the paper.
Steps into the empty elevator shaft.
But you said Theta was working perfectly, Austin. How could it do something so stupid?
It couldn't. It would shut itself down first. My machine did something it couldn't possibly do, and for no apparent reason.
They both realize lots of companies bought these elevators. It could happen again, anywhere, anytime.
Yes, it's very important to... Yeah. I'd know if you said you were going to play it and didn't. I'd know. Hang on.
I think it just happened again.
I'm shutting them all down, Austin, recalling all the control modules. Well, it's certainly not the kind of decision I want to make so soon in a new position, but I have no choice.
Yeah, I understand. Is there anything I can do to help?
Well, I can help by fixing that blasted thing. How long will it take?
48 hours. About to redesign the whole unit.
Do me a favor. Fix the theta control at Serendip first, will you? I hate walking up and down stairs.
He doesn't want to be number 3. Austin and Mickey ride the elevator to the floor where the late executive worked.
Isn't that the same weird thing that was in Bartell's building?
Not identical, but it's by the same sculptor.
Austin, maybe electrical impulses from the sculptures sent signals to the elevators to open their doors. Austin?
Nah, the impulses from this piece of art. Couldn't have affected my elevator any more than a receptionist's electric pencil sharpener.
Still, they should probably talk to the artist, if they can find his name on this thing.
That's a bolt of some sort. And what's that, a lopsided U or a sideways horseshoe or something?
Toilet seat.
Austin, no self-respecting artist is... Right. It's a toilet seat. A bolt and a toilet seat.
John and a bolt. John Bolt.
I'm going to leave that alone. He's every bit as weird eccentric as his logo would suggest.
Well, go on. Pay me some respect.
We were admiring your work at two corporate offices we visited recently.
My work adorns the offices of the corporate world, a world inhabited by the rodents of this earth, whom I gladly overcharge outrageous amounts.
I think I like this guy. He asks which two and they tell him. He says, "You've got to be kidding."
I only sell my worst pieces, and those two I particularly despise.
Nevertheless, it's quite an achievement for an artist. Blind.
You are very observant, Mr. James.
But the clock has no glass on its face. You feel his hands to learn the time. It's probably the same with your watch.
He tells the story of how he was blinded while Austin looks around.
Your work really does have a vision all its own. Matter of fact, I'd like to buy something. Maybe one of your large kinetic pieces.
No,
Stealing from blind people isn't in her job description.
I don't think so.
Why not, Mr. Bolt?
I don't like you.
It's a poor excuse, especially since you're willing to sell to those you hate.
Ah, but that's just the point. I don't hate you. I just don't like you.
He says Bolt is a suspect since his sculptures were at both places in prominent spots. Yes, it's a long shot, but it's what we have right now.
On the other hand, I can't see anything unusual about this piece of art.
I can't compare it to one of those statues in the building. But then that would mean we would have to steal one of those, and that would be too much for one day, don't you think?
Remember who you're talking to. The day never ends for him. It just pauses briefly while he naps. At Vivatech, the second place it happened, Mickey distracts the security guard with some huge plants and a sweet smile so Austin can sneak in and take the elevator to the 21st floor. He loads the sculpture up on a dolly and starts back down.
You know, it gets real quiet up here at night. And very private.
Water.
Water?
Gotta water the plants. You have a water fountain?
There's a janitor station over here.
Take the hint, dude.
It's really nice having some company.
I can imagine.
I'm so lonely.
I can imagine that too. Listen, I got a firm waiting for me at the Edco Plaza.
It can wait.
How clumsy of me! I forgot I had a pail of water in my hand.
How can you forget you have a pail of water in your hand?
I told you to take the hint. He has to go off and change, which gives Austin all the time he needs.
The sound insulation the bolt built in has been removed.
Why would anyone remove insulation?
They needed room to install something inside the sculpture. Something they've since removed.
Who bought the sculpture? It doesn't take Austin James long to find out. His computer has access to everything.
Donor gift.
Randolph. You mean that corporate creep we met outside the elevator?
Same query at 5. It's like 21st floor artwork.
When we saw him, he was reassuring some toady that the guy would still have a job when Randolph took over. Randolph also bought the sculpture at Vivatech, but it gets worse.
Yeah. He's buying up the stock at Vivatech, too. It's another takeover bid. He's trying to corner the market on superconductors. With ECHO and Vivatech, he owns 2 of the 3 leading corporations in superconductor research.
What's the third company? God, another beta.
That means Austin's buddy Graham at Serendip is in danger. At the building, he tells the security guard to shut everything down. Graham is headed for the elevator.
Good evening, Mr. McKinley. All streets are clear. Drive safely, Mr. McKinley.
Are you going crazy?
Hi, Dad. Hello,
I think I jumped the gun.
Yeah, you did. Who's still the actual head of Serendip, whether he likes it or not? He also forgot one little detail. He knows this involves the John Bolt sculptures, and there were none around that elevator. On their way back to the warehouse, Austin is drawing sketches of the different scenes, while Mickey is confused by some road redirections she's having to follow.
When did they open this up?
What up?
The new interstate.
They haven't.
Stop the car!
They get out and discover there's no road just beyond where they stopped. It won't be finished for months.
But I saw the highway. It was right here.
Why'd you ever come up here?
There was a detour sign. The street was closed.
They drive back down so she can show him the sign.
So where is it?
Or not.
It was here, right here.
There's no sign of a sign of any kind.
I saw it. Let's go ask that guy over there.
You ask. I know a hallucination when I've seen one.
Austin, what's that odor?
Ozone.
The stuff when lightning hits?
The same.
I don't see any lightning.
I don't see any detour sign either.
Now Austin wants to know where both came from. There's only one candidate in the area.
Can I give you a hand?
Hey, thanks. I got it whipped. The chain to tear on this rig is 10 minutes flat.
Yeah. What'd you do for the other 50 minutes you were parked here?
What'd you say?
You got a slow oil leak. The drops in the ground indicate you've been here at least an hour. Matter of fact...
So what if I have? What business is it of yours?
Just curious. And, Duffy, I wouldn't take the interstate just yet.
I think Austin is starting to figure it out. It's taking him a little longer because he doesn't have the advantage of being able to see all the scenes like we can. He's off to confront Randolph. Austin throws a few tidbits out, and he has the man's attention.
I'm sorry, how rude of me not to offer you some coffee. A soft drink?
No, thank you.
She'll have a glass of Renault spring water from the Armagnac region of France with shaved ice and a lemon twist. Nothing for me.
And that removes the secretary's attention, so it's time for the real reason they're there.
What does kinetic art have to do with your killer elevators, James?
So far, the connection's merely thought-provoking. You donated the sculpture to both Etco and Vivatech before the murders.
Did you say murders?
My system didn't kill anyone. Someone did use it to commit murder.
So Mickey can go snooping around his desk and find something that might tie him to all this.
Get out.
That could have gone better.
You're dangerous, James. Unbalanced. Serendip's board of directors will be very disturbed to learn this. I'll have to tell them at the meeting today. They've invited me.
Of course they have. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups.
Take a note, Mr. Randolph. Your days are numbered.
Ooh, that rattled him, and he wasn't very good at hiding it. He knows Austin's reputation, and he knows he's intellectually outmatched. He thinks ambition will carry him through. Spoiler, it won't. As Austin and Mickey leave, Randolph makes a call.
314-379-2816.
Good. What is it?
I don't know. It was on his desk.
Come on, Mickey, a 10-digit number. That could be anything. A telephone number, a bank account?
Well, it was next to his computer.
Possibly an access code. It's easy enough to check. What else?
What do you mean, what else?
One 10-digit number. That's all you got?
Austin, I can't even remember my own social security number.
What you got is what you got. It'll have to do.
Thanks.
That van looks familiar. I wonder why. And there's that same smell of ozone. Austin has it now, but he's not telling Mickey. Because if he did, he'd be telling us too, and we're not supposed to find out yet.
I want you to go to the board of directors meeting.
Me?
Keep Randolph from getting control of Serendip.
Me?
You'll have my proxy, delay, divide, confuse. Drop me at the warehouse. I've got a lot to do.
I know it's only episode 5, but she should be used to that by now.
And resume our rightful position in the forefront of high technology research and development. I want you all to feel confident. We're in great financial condition, and Serendip's stock will start climbing towards the end of the day.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Please, young lady.
Graham, you should recognize her. Talking down to her like that will bite you in the butt.
I'm really allergic to cigar smoke.
Miss, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I'm holding Austin James' proxy. He has a right to vote. I move we adjourn to consult legal counsel on the proxy issue.
And it'll bite you sooner than you think.
In the light of recent events, I think it is imperative that this board begin immediate discussion on the possible removal from this company of Austin James as its president.
There he is. Say it to his face.
Austin!
You took too long. He was hit high in the shoulder, so it shouldn't be bad. Mickey has to put up the entire warehouse to raise Austin's bail, but he's out. Now he wants to hear what happened, because he wasn't there.
I saw you shoot Graham McKinley.
You're absolutely sure it was me?
Well, of course, we all saw you.
How was I holding the gun? Well,
Did you catch the real killer's mistake?
it's really quite brilliant to think Randolph could project the illusion of me into that room.
Illusion? You mean it wasn't you?
Nor my long-lost twin brother. I was at the warehouse, alone.
Without an alibi?
Well, like I said, it was really quite brilliant.
I don't share your admiration for the man.
Not admiration, professional respect.
In Randolph's case, a professional what? And by the way, yes, she did detect that same ozone smell. Austin memorized the license plate of the van when it tried to run him down, and they just found it.
It's one of your theta units.
Connected to a microwave transmitter.
Microwave? You mean like TV dinner microwave?
Microwave energy can be used to create heat, transmit radio signals. Signals from this truck to the theta controlling the building's elevators.
No sign of tampering. Because nobody ever even went inside the building.
The theta unit in the van has been reprogrammed to tell the elevators to do exactly what they did. But how did they get the men to step into empty elevators? Austin says maybe they didn't.
If you're like you, they were just following the detour sign.
Don't get it.
Let me give you a demonstration.
Apparently, Mickey has never heard of a hologram. She's never watched television. So let's all watch a demonstration.
Good evening, Mr. Rendell. Time is 8:45 p.m.
What is this?
He thought he got rid of the theta controllers.
The outside temperature is 58 degrees. But you'll never get out of this building alive.
Austin James, I know you're behind this. It's not going to work.
What won't work? What do you think he's trying to do?
Well, it was worth a try.
I'll see to it that your bail is revoked.
The elevator will arrive in 5 seconds. Watch your step, Mr. Randolph. Dad has your roach truck. It's right outside, controlling me.
The door opens onto what is obviously a projection of a car with a floor, just like the other guys saw, but it was enough to fool their distracted vision. The two play "After you, now after you" for a bit, then Austin cuts to the chase.
It's amazing how far holography has come. One of your firms specializes in holographic research, doesn't it? I'll bet you could project a hologram of an elevator car from this sculpture right here. An unsuspecting CEO might even step right through.
He says you could even project a whole highway and try to get someone to drive on it. But the boardroom was a stroke of genius.
To get a holographic picture of me in the parking garage, matting it together with a holographic pistol, projecting it into the conference room while your henchman fires the real gun from behind.
I wondered who fired the shot. You knew Randolph wouldn't have either the skill or the intestinal fortitude to do it himself. Of course, as it turned out, his henchman was a lousy shot, too.
A remarkable accomplishment.
Hey, James, you know it all. But that information will die with you.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Randolph, your little deed there didn't go unnoticed.
Randolph! A little stock manipulation I can understand. This.
In fact, it was a nice big setup. Thank you for making it so easy.
Austin, are you okay?
It's not his sensory deprivation tank, but it'll do for a little nap. Later, he finally went in for his IRS audit. He says it went fine, no issues whatsoever.
How can someone with absolutely no financial records whatsoever walk away from an IRS audit saying no problem?
Simple, I inundated them. I told them everything. Everything. I started with my radio-controlled robot lawn mowing service, which I initiated at age 8, and my rare animal taxidermy studio.
Stop. You told them everything, and they believed you?
No, they got numb.
The next time I get audited, it's happened twice, I think I'll try that. Start from about age 10 and tell them every penny that ever passed through my hands and talk as fast as I possibly can, which is considerable. I'll be making it all up, but they don't know that.